The Bay Area will be a major golf destination for the next decade. PGA President Ted Bishop announced the 2020 PGA Championship will be played at TPC Harding Park. This is a first for San Francisco in the history of the PGA Tour. The city will also be hosting the 2025 President's Cup, the 2015 World Golf Match Play Championships as well.
Well, tonight, the federal government is working to find adequate shelter for the thousands of children who have illegally crossed the border into the states. Officials from 3 governmental agencies, including FEMA, toured a vacant middle school in Houston today, and they wanted to see if that school would work as temporary housing. But that idea is getting criticized by people who live nearby.
These illegal immigrants don't have nowhere to go, so y'all going to come over here to our neighborhood, open the school up for them, really? Is that right? Do anybody think that's right?
Meanwhile, Southern California's largest immigrant detention center in Adelanto is adding 650 beds. It's all part of an expansion that would help ease overflow in the LA area.
This is new tonight in Stockton. Police need your help finding the person who attacked a 76-year-old parking attendant. It happened last month at a city-owned parking lot on North American Street, and the man's been in the hospital ever since. So take a look at this video. The suspect is seen walking up from the right, knocks the man to the ground right there, and then he slowly begins to walk away. The victim remains in serious condition, and people are being urged to contact the Stockton Police Department if you have any information. A vegetation fire in El Dorado County is 100% contained tonight. Flames broke out this afternoon along Mount Ockham Road in Somerset. And you can see from this photo from earlier today the smoke from that fire. The fire started behind Pioneer Bible Church, which is seen in the foreground here. The barn in the background was destroyed. An estimated 30 acres burned. No word yet on what caused the fire.
And this is new tonight. Californians and those visiting California can now sip on wine at the local farmers markets here in this state. Governor Brown signed a bill Tuesday which allows wine tasting at farmers markets. This bill expands on a law that had allowed the sale of wine at farmers markets, but not wine tasting.
I think that's probably a good idea. Wine at farmers markets, I don't see that being a problem.
I think a lot of people in Sacramento drink wine, and I think it would be pretty popular.
Winemakers say tasting is essential to the industry, and not being able to offer samples has hurt sales. This bill, by the way, will limit tastings to 3 ounces per customer, and it goes into effect immediately. New tonight out of Illinois, a man visiting a jail stayed a little longer than he had expected. Farad Polk was visiting his son and was given instructions to stay to the right. When he went in, he did just that. He stayed to the right. Investigators say Polk turned into a visiting room that was being renovated. The doors then locked behind him, and he was trapped for nearly 32 hours. The guy ended up breaking a sprinkler head that flooded the room, and firefighters had to rush in to rescue him. All right, we want to show you this. This is a story about the Bay Area's so-called smelly bandit who is under arrest. Investigators say a man robbed a bank in Mountain View last week, and customers told police the robber smelled, and it seemed like he hadn't bathed in a while. Yesterday, authorities arrested 45-year-old William Bracken on shoplifting charges. Bracken remains in jail on suspicion of robbery and petty theft.
Well, new tonight is Sacramento area business celebrating 40 years of summertime fun.
Hey, Rancho Cordova!
Ribbon cutting ceremony held this afternoon for the American River Raft Rentals. They have been in business for 40 years in Rancho Cordova, and tonight the owners talked about their incredible run.
It's been a great run. It's turned into a great career for us. We get local business. We get people from all over California. We've had people from all over the United States, even from around the world.
It is the business of fun there. The local Chamber of Commerce was there to congratulate the owner, Dave Hill, on his success. A party held afterwards for customers and employees. And Hill says even with the drought going on right now, the water is flowing and business is doing great. And there's this tonight. The Ebola outbreak is now officially considered out of control in West Africa. Today, the U.S. had a bit of a scare with the deadly virus. A Charlotte hospital closed a corridor after a patient came in with symptoms following a trip to Africa. It was later determined that the patient was not exposed to the virus, which has already killed over 600 people so far. Healthcare workers remain on high alert, taking extreme precautions.
Certainly, it is conceivable that someone will get on a plane from Western Africa and come here, but we have the healthcare capability that even if someone does come and has Ebola, if taken care of properly, they should not be spread.
And in Liberia, 2 Americans sick with Ebola are still fighting for their lives. They are still in isolation, and 2 Peace Corps volunteers are also isolated and being monitored. The group has pulled its volunteers out of Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea due to the virus.
Covering the nation in Washington state, a supposed Navy SEAL veteran was given a proper burial ceremony at Tahoma National Cemetery. But documents found by his friends now show the man was a fake. John Alberti passed away in April, but somehow his fake discharge paperwork fooled the American Legion and the cemetery. Mistakes on the papers were noticeable, and veterans were not happy about hearing about the phony war vet's burial.
It's a very good forgery. Not to me. I saw it. The guy couldn't even spell Saigon. He needs to get out of there. He's buried among heroes.
Sources have confirmed that Alberti never served a single day in the Navy. The cemetery director and Department of Veterans Affairs has not said what will happen with his remains, but many are calling for his body to be moved.